Good boy. All right, so we're out here working on our heel, working around crazies like that dog on the other side of the fence. And good boy, just general slip lead work. So I haven't really seen too much leash reactivity manifest. Clearly he was interested in that dog, but was not too difficult to keep him on one side of me, which since we're struggling with the pulling, I know a few things that we want to instill in the moment, and then I'll go over, and then there's a few things that we want to always be tackling that are just general life things that will help provide better walks for you guys. So I will call this a pretty good walk. I'd just give it, a solid B. I'm pretty loose here. He's got the whole leash and he's not out in front of me. But if he wants to take a little bit of space and go off to my right, absolutely, he can do that and is doing that. But the thing that we want to avoid is progress under pressure, right? So if the leash is fully taut, and that would be putting the dog under pressure, we don't want to be walking forward, because then we're teaching what? Pressure gets progress. That's when the opposition reflex comes in and they start thinking, they get trapped in this state of thinking, hey, if I want to continue this walk, if I want to literally go forward with this walk, I need to pull. Because, why? Well, I've been pulling and I've been traveling forward. I've been progressing. So we want to teach the opposite. Once he gets to that progress point, or that pressure point, we discontinue progress. That teaches him no progress under pressure. So then he's got to figure out the opposite of that, which is progress not under pressure. All right. Oh, I got bit by a mosquito in the middle of the day. Ow. All right. Didn't mean to startle you. So that's the main theory, right? No progress under pressure. The second tip that we can tackle out here would be to always keep him on one side of you. What the heck was that? I don't know if that came through the video. It sounded like a squealing bird. Anyway, I digress. We want to keep him on one side. If you want to think about the adage one-track mind maybe in a positive way, you can use that if that helps you. But essentially, if you keep him on one side, you kind of make it easier for him to achieve success on the walk, because now, without the ability to cross-cut us over and over, there's less for him to be able to decide to do, right? And if he's allowed to cross-cut or back-cut, and in his brain he sees whatever's on the left side of me and he goes and processes it to decide whether or not it's something he may want to go to. So we're kind of like minimizing the world in a way, shrinking his surroundings, if we just make that whole left side unobtainable, right? Now all he has to do would be to work against his impulses on the right side of me. So, hey, I see a pretty plant. Do I want to pull over there? Do I want to deal with the consequences of pulling over there, which means what? No progress. do I want to pull forward to some people walking by and deal with the consequences of pulling forward towards some guy, which is what? No progress. Do I want to deal with anchoring, which is pulling back behind us or stopping, and deal with the consequences of that, which actually I'm glad I got there, would be progress, right? That is the one where pressure would actually equate to continuing to walk forward. It's just whatever direction he's applying pressure in cannot be the direction that we go. So that's why I don't say forward progress, I just say progress. No progress under pressure. So if he decides to go forward with a pull, we're going to counteract that by stopping his progress forward. If he decides to pull to my right, we are going to stop his progress to the right. If he decides to pull backwards or anchor, we are going to stop that by continuing forward. So it's maybe a little wordy way to explain it, but I'd rather be more detailed than less. Good boy. So keeping him on one side of you, keeping a loose leash in all other circumstances, but keeping a firm grip as well. This is a grip that I do. I really don't see anybody else do this. Maybe by chance you guys do, but it really helps me feel secure with the leash, but also makes it really easy for me to provide him with a loose lead. So I just have the loop wrapped around my wrist, and then I have the main part where the loop is sewn together in my hand, and I can really grab that. If he was to ever pull, I have the utmost confidence he couldn't pull out of that. But also it's easy to provide him with more of a slack leash in this circumstance, because I can simply just open my hand and the lead is loose. Yeah, I would assume this is more of the walk that we wanted, hopefully. It is definitely the walk that I always want. But, he has to go potty sometimes during the walk. He may indicate that to you by, signaling his interest in a certain area that he might want to go take care of his business at. So when we get to those areas, that would be what I would call part of our inactive walk. Our active walk would be this, where I'm really, concerned with no pressure under progress, and I'm concerned with keeping a loose lead when he's next to me, vocally encouraging him for walking in that heel, which I would be doing a little bit more, but I'm just speaking in the video, so it's getting a little less. But good boy, he's back at my heel. That's definitely a true heel. And I'm just really more observant of him. I want to do it kind of on the sly. I don't want to just stare at him and give him that pressure, unnecessary pressure, but I am watching him, trying to head off any potential mistakes that he might make. An inactive walk, what does that look like? Well, I would go to an area like this, and I would just say, free. And now he can do whatever he wants. This would be when, for example, he would potty, or you could pet and reset. But yeah, you are hot, so we're going to get you inside. Heel. H-E-E-L as we get back going. Beautiful heel, way back. Even a little recessed. Meaning behind my heel, which is super ideal. We did not, other than the fenced in dog, see anybody out walking their dogs. Again, maybe the heat. Who's to say? We got a little bunny rabbit over here. See if we can get that. I like to add in an auto stop at the streets. Good boy. So always take a little break there. Yep. And then we re-engage. But can't complain. I cannot complain about this walk. And then just real quick, the same things I've mentioned, just to, have your keys to success in dog ownership and leadership in general, but the things that we can work on outside of actually walking that. Good boy, saw that rabbit, ears perked up, didn't run, that's my man. That we can work on outside of the walks would just be, the general topics that we want to cover every day if possible. That would be exercise, making sure his exercise needs are met. Obedience, the stronger your obedience, the better your walks. Good boy, saw the rabbit again, got out a little ahead, so I'm going to slow down. But good job. We're yesing things, right? He's not reacting to them, so it's positive. And then after exercise and obedience would be socialization. Keeping up his social outlet, which I know you guys got a resource for already with your neighbors and your play dates, which is great. Working on all those will get you success in any area, but success on the walks like that, that's how we want to walk. Good boy, water break. And if you guys got any questions, nice job, sir.